Jen here. Happy Halloween. I have another video for my October daily that I wanted to share with you. So I do have another video that I posted at the beginning of the month, kind of explaining my process and what my plans were for October daily, and then also showing you how I created, I guess, like the base of the pages. And here you can see some of the ones that I created. I think I did, well, these two I did on screen, so you saw a process video for them. That first one I did just when I was kind of playing around watching some TV, so you didn't see a process video for that. So I wanted to make sure to share it. And I also talked about the giveaway that I'm doing, because a lot of the pages that I'm putting together, I'm featuring this collection here. It's the Hallow-Ba-Boo collection, and it is created by Jen from Flip Appeal Designs, and I have a collection to give to you. So it comes with the papers and it comes with the flare, and all you have to do to enter is go and watch the videos, answer the questions that I've left in my videos, and then subscribe. Yeah, that's it. Pretty easy. Probably in the first week of November, once I kind of give everybody the opportunity to watch the videos and, take the time to comment if they want to go ahead and enter the giveaway, then I will draw a name. So I think I'm going to cut it off probably on November. I gotta think of what the date is. I think it's November 5th. Yeah, November 5th is Saturday. So that gives you an extra week to go ahead and do that. I know 30 days of sketches has been super busy for everybody, and so there's tons and tons of videos there for everyone to watch. So I will give that extra week, and then I'll announce the winner and send out their prize pack. So today I thought what I would do is go ahead and create a couple more pages, and I will leave a question for you at some point through this video. And so just go back and find all of the questions in the videos that are featuring my October daily and featuring the Hallow-Ba-Boo collection. Answer those questions in the comments, and you'll be all set to be entered for the giveaway. So for today's pages, there's one in particular that I knew I wanted to create, and that is a page that is documenting a drag show that my friend and I went to. It was sort of a recreation of Hocus Pocus. It was called Witch Perfect, and I wanted to create the spell book. I love the movie. Definitely nostalgic for me. I had so much fun watching it when I was a kid, and now watching number 2 as an adult with my own kids was really kind of cool. I love when we have the opportunity to do that kind of stuff with Jurassic Park and Ghostbusters and all that kind of stuff. So, I thought it would be fun to go ahead and create the spell book to kind of close the page. So this page that I chose has the 2 hinged openings, and I thought that for me that kind of felt like stage curtains almost. And so I don't know, it made me feel like watching the curtains open, and I thought that worked really good for documenting a show that we saw. So this inside, I'm using the cauldron as a pocket, and that pocket is going to hold a couple of the pictures that I took just of the amazing drag queens on stage. It was, if you are drag fans, you'll know these ladies. It was Tina Burner, Scarlet Envy, and Alexis Michelle. So really, really fantastic show. My friend and I had so much fun. And so, yeah, it also gave me the perfect opportunity to have a lot of fun creating a very kind of witch themed page for my October dailies. So that cauldron is going to hold some photos of the ladies on stage performing. I took a lot of videos, and obviously I can't really document the videos, but I have some really good pictures, and so I'll print them the right size so that they can fit into the cauldron and look really cute in there, and I can pull them out. On the other side of this page, I'm going to put the picture that my friend and I got with the three witches, which was super cool. We had that little fan experience, so that was really fun. So that will go on the back. And then I just wanted to kind of decorate the front of this page with some of the images that are in this collection and my spell book. So to create my spell book, I just cut a piece of cardboard that actually came off of a box that had some apples from an apple orchard. So I just cut it to the right size, and then I covered it with a coffee filter because it is kind of that color, like it's almost a brownish leather or skin color. I think it might actually it's supposed to look like skin that's all stitched together. So I thought that the coffee filter is a natural colored one. So that worked really good. So you saw me just tearing it up so that there was texture and using regular old school glue. I didn't even pull out the Mod Podge or anything like that. I just used the school glue, and I experimented at the very beginning with drawing the shapes with that school glue just to see if the nozzle was going to be too thick, and it clearly was. So I went ahead and used my other glue, and it has the fine line tip, and so that was much better for actually drawing the details. And so I kind of drew them off of memory. I think I did okay. and I got all the important details. I got the snakes in the corners and the snake kind of going along the one, not on the spine, but by the binding. And then of course there's the eye. I just used a googly eye. And then with some of the coffee filter, I created the lid because there's definitely a pronounced lid on the book. And I just built up some texture with the coffee filter. So as I was kind of gluing it down, I didn't keep it all flat. I let it wrinkle up in different places, and some of it's a little bit thicker than others. And there's some of the texture from where I kind of was tearing the coffee filters. And so that gives that texture, that kind of leathery skin texture that the book is. And then, yeah, I put in the little stitches and I'm letting that dry. So that's what is happening while I am covering these pages, is that the book is drying. And so you can see I'm using that red paper. I thought the red kind of is like red curtains. And so that is my curtains that will open onto the cauldron, and I'll be able to pull my pictures out of the cauldron. I did put the paper on upside down, and so you'll see that I have to recut my holes. It doesn't really matter because this page could have been flipped either way, so it's not a big deal to have to recut the holes. But yes, that's why I'm covering them up, because I did put it on wrong. And then here I had this little piece that comes from one of the papers, has really big labels on it. And this is a witch's brew potion bottle. And so I really wanted to get that put on there too. And then I thought, if I stick that down where my holes were, I can kind of cut the shape. And I've really been enjoying keeping the one side where my holes are, and where all of my pages are going to be bound, I guess, with my binder rings. I've been keeping the shape of the pillow box, but on the other side, some of them I've cut so that they're different shapes. And so I like that all of my pages kind of end in a different shape. And so I thought I would just use the shape of that label. And now this page has kind of that unique shape as well. So I've got all the papers down on that front page. So now I'm going to work on the back page because the book is still not dry and I needed it to dry a little bit so that I could go back and add a few more details if I wanted to. If I kept adding all the details with the glue wet, then it just sort of blends into itself. It would be like adding wet paint onto even more wet paint. So I needed it to sort of dry in stages so that I could build up some of that extra texture and make sure that those little, stitches and stuff looked more authentic, I guess you could say. So it ended up that I let it dry overnight actually, because it did take that long. Even though it's the quick dry adhesive, it definitely took a long time to completely dry and be completely hard before I could paint it. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this side. And I wanted the purple because that's definitely a witchy color that I love, and it's obviously in the dresses that the three witches from Hocus Pocus wear. So I wanted to have purple represented. So I had that one piece of argyle paper from the Hallow-Ba-Boo collection, and then this other purple paper comes from one of my little paper pads that is in the How to Kill a Kit with Style kit for October. So I'm just going to kind of piece the two of them together. I did this a lot in this October daily, where I kind of had bits and pieces of papers that I put together into one page. So it kind of just, I don't know, it made it a little bit more interesting. These papers don't actually fit the height of the pillow boxes. So I think at the very end, once I get all of my pictures down, I might have to go and add some little washi tape borders and things like that up to some of the tops or bottoms of the pages. But for the most part, I kind of like that there's a bit of the raw craft pillow box showing. So I'm not too concerned about it. And so to finish this page, because I know that the picture I want to put here is probably going to take up a good portion of it, I'm not gluing down these embellishments completely. So I'll kind of show you with my finger, but even these bats, I'm only gluing down one wing so that I can tuck my picture in. And then the little witch and that potion bottle, they're only glued down on one side. The adhesive is kind of just in an L shape so that I can go ahead and tuck my picture in, and then I can, make sure everything is stuck down really well afterwards. So I was still waiting for my book to dry, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can recreate this same sort of book texture on an entire page, because I did also want to be able to document all of the TV shows and movies and stuff that we've watched throughout the month of October. So I thought, this is a great way to do that. We did watch both Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2, like probably everybody else in the world who has Disney Plus did as well. And so I thought it would be really fun to play around with it and just see if I could kind of recreate it. And then once I got all of that paper down, I thought, you know what, I'm already basically creating the book. I might as well do it again. So these are the only googly eyes I had. I thought I had larger ones. I probably could have used buttons, or I could have found something else to do, but I decided I'm going to go ahead and put this little one down. Even though it's not really the right scale, it definitely doesn't look like the book anymore. But if I put a picture on this side or put the title or something like that, then I need enough room anyways. So I'm not too concerned that it's not, perfectly to scale. And so with this page, because it is bigger, I'm able to use that school glue and go ahead and just create some of the decor and the shapes that are on the book. And they're not perfect. But what I did is I went ahead and kind of let that piece dry. And you can see here the book is still not dry. It's totally white. There they are almost dry. So once I let the first bit of that school glue dry, I then came back and added more detail on top again. And I did some of the finer detail with my fine line glue instead of the school glue. And that just helped me to get the better shape of the snakes and like the snakes' tongues. And yeah, so I just played around. Obviously, there's no right or wrong. It was just really fun. It was kind of an experiment to see. And I really enjoyed it. It was quite therapeutic, just gluing things down and, playing with some of the glue and drawing the shapes. So it's definitely not an exact to what the book looks like. I did it mostly from memory. And now that I'm painting, I'm not even really paying attention. So I started by adding some dark brown all around where the glue is to kind of give some shadows. And then I'm going from darkest to lightest to kind of build up that weathered look of the book. It's still not perfect, but it was definitely really fun to do. So I started with the little book because you can see there that the page still has some glue that's white. So even overnight, the glue didn't fully dry because it was just that thick. But it definitely worked really good. So here you can see the school glue almost dries to completely translucent. And so that's why I had to build up some texture. So when I noticed that it was drying and I was sort of losing where it was, I went back again and started to build it up. And then once all of the school glue was dry, I took my fine line and added the stitching and added some extra detail around the snakes and the eyes, sort of like the clasp of the book that holds it closed. I added some detail to that. And yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So now I'm going to go ahead and just paint this one as well. Again, I started with the darker colors, kind of adding the shadows and stuff. And then I'm slowly building it up, just using brown and white and a little bit of water to kind of water it down and move it around. And you can see me using that little piece of the coffee filter. I'm just dabbing it in some places because it's kind of adding a bit of texture and blending some of the colors. So I'll put on a little bit of paint and then just kind of dab it off, wiping some of it off here and there. And it sticks to the glue, which I think is really cool. So I didn't really worry about getting the paint all over because I knew that I was going to go back and add some color to that glue to really make that stand out. And I think in the movie, it's sort of like a pewter, silvery type color, and I didn't really have that. So I start by adding a layer of a gold paint pen, just a cheap gold paint pen from Dollar Tree, but I just wanted to start kind of building up some of the tones over the glue. And then you saw me use a black watercolor marker. And again, that was just to kind of build it up and change it from like a really kind of yellowy gold into more of like a dirty gold. And then now I'm going over it with a silver paint pen. This paint pen is also from Dollar Tree and it actually has glitter in it, but the glitter didn't really stick properly, so you don't see that too much. But I definitely liked using this black here because I felt like it kind of took it from the gold and silver into more of like just a weathered kind of pewtery color, or I don't know. It's probably still not exactly what it looks like in the movie. You'd think after 2 days of doing this that I would have just gone and looked up what the book looked like, but I didn't. I was just having a lot of fun, and I really like how they turned out, so I wasn't overly worried that it might not look exactly the same. And so once I was done the little one, I did set it to the side and I really let it dry again. And I went over it with the silver a couple of times just to really like intensify that color and make it stand out from the book and look more like metal. And so here I'm doing exactly the same thing. I have the gold and I have the black and then I have silver, and you saw me there kind of using the filter again to blend things out, and I just kept going over and over it until I thought it looked like a color that I was happy with. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it turned out really good. I love how this page came out. So my little book there, you can see it's still kind of drying, and so while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and just finish this page, and this is where I will put all the different movies and stuff that we've been watching over the last month. So I'll probably just print out a copy of each of the advertisements or movie posters, whatever you call them. I'll just get them online and I'll print all of those out and just fill up all of these pages, because we have been watching a lot. We've watched both Hocus Pocus, like I said, we've been watching all the Halloween towns, and then of course there's, our other favorites that we kind of watch over and over again, some of the Scooby-Doos and Nightmare Before Christmas, and things like that, and then probably even some of the baby's shows that he's been watching, because he's super into Halloween now, which is really, really fun. So I'll just print a bunch of them out and pop them on there. And so this one whole page will represent one day. And I always do stuff like that. I even do it in my December dailies. There's always going to be a day where maybe you really aren't doing anything, especially not anything that's necessarily related to kind of the theme of the month. And so there's always a couple of days here and there where you need to kind of find a filler to document something for that day. And so usually I'll get one page with all of the shows and stuff that we've been watching. So here you can see this page is done. I absolutely adore how this came out. There's my little book, and then the cauldron will have the pictures. And then here is my other page. And then I also did this while I was waiting for it to dry. So just another random page. I added some more of those pieces of the labels onto some tags. And so when I print out my pictures, I'll go ahead and put them on the back of the tags and probably cover them somehow so you don't actually see what is on the back of the label from the other side of the paper. But that will have to wait until I have the pictures and kind of know how big they are and where I'm going to put them and stuff like that. But I just wanted to show you that I have been working on some of these pages off camera as well. Just, you throw on a movie and you start working away, and before you know it, you've created a whole bunch of pages. So here's just a little bonus of one of those pages that I had started. And that's it for this video. So let me ask you the question. I'd like to know, what is your favorite Halloween candy? What is that candy that your kids bring home that you're going to sneak out of their bag, or that you go and buy for yourself and then you stash it away so no one else can touch it? I'd love to know what your favorite candy is. Mine is Rockets, but I don't think that's what you call them in the States. They're the little rolled up candies, kind of like Sweet Tarts, but the mini version. I just love those so much. Those are my favorite. And my kiddos always know, and so they usually save me a whole bunch of them, which is so sweet. So yeah, that's it for me. I'd love to know what your favorite is. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. There's definitely more to come, so we'll see you again soon. Until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.
Bye. Thanks to me. To my channel.